Tonight, a Syrian businessman is shot dead in Jacmel. Police have launched an investigation. The Castries Constituencies Council comes to a screeching halt after CCC workers down their tools in protest.
They are saying that they did not sign. City Council is saying that the union signed. And neither City Council or the union is putting on a meeting for us to know what's going on.
And family of a missing 87-year-old man with dementia appeal for help in finding him. The details are coming up.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News with Lovely and Amy Joseph.
Good evening. It is Monday, the 11th of February 2019. Welcome to the Hot 7 Nightly News. I am Lovely St. Amy Joseph. Thank you for joining us on Hot 7 TV, channel 117 on Flow, on www.caribbeanhottv.com, via our Caribbean Hot FM app, and on Kiss FM. We begin with news that a Syrian merchant is dead following a shooting at Jacmel. Details surrounding the incident are still sketchy, but emergency officials told online news publication St. Lucia Times that they received a report of the incident at about 2:25 p.m. The victim was said to be unresponsive at the time he was picked up by the ambulance. Based on reports, he was selling items from his car. We will have further details on this matter once the Police Press Relations Office gives an official statement. In other news, the Castries Constituencies Council came to a screeching halt after CCC workers downed their tools in protest of new measures imposed on them, which they say will put them at a great loss to already low wages. Workers say they have been neglected long enough, and the new measures add insult to injuries. Rochelle Gonzalez reports.
It's Monday, the 11th of February, and workers of the Castries City Council have taken to the streets, but not quite for the reasons one might think. Workers have decided to down their tools for a number of reasons, including a shift system which they say they're simply not going to have. Hot 7 News spoke to some of the CCC workers to find out just what was going on.
If anything they put in place, either is we that is the problem or the company that is the problem. So they have to deal with this situation. But you cannot tell me a man working Saturday for a day. When you tell me if I working for 50 a day and you take out your tax and your NIS and them vibes. I tell you can't take it. But you can't have me working on Saturday for the same thing. I know Saturday is time and a half and Sunday is double time and a half. So where that law come from? And I want to know who invented the law. So I am against my company because they are making my daily bread. But I want to know the people are in management, what they're about and what they're doing, or if it's the workers have a problem.
The agreement is not 100%. The union asks everyone time in and wait for the union because the agreement they say they signed for, that's not the right procedure.
Sanitation worker Dalton DeLeese said talks with the mayor and the National Workers Union have taken them nowhere. But one thing he knows for sure is that their union representatives are all talk.
The union only talking, that's just talk. Nothing is being done. All the time, as I tell you, it's just meeting to delay the process. Years after years passing, and the meeting scheduled for next month. You come next month, the meeting, nothing out of it. It's just talk all the time. You know what I'm saying? So I myself, this is a politics thing going on there. Now, I am not working my health in politics. You understand what I'm saying? People need to get the health check because I will not reach my pension if that's the way it's going on. Because when I die, before my pension, because you're not taking care of my health, you're going to have my pension ripping with your family and everybody going to get it good. And I at work and you getting the pay. They come in with a shift system saying like, we will not be working time and a half and double time again on a Saturday and Sundays, which I know that's how we started from the time we started. And that is the only reason we live in our homes, to come and work on a Saturday and Sunday, because we're getting a little benefit to help us with our family. But they are saying that we are going to have to be working straight shift on a Saturday and Sunday, no double, no time and a half. And on top of that, they want to give us 2 days off in the week without pay. You understand what I'm saying? So if you give a little increase for $2 or $3 and we are receiving that, why come with a psychological trick saying that you want us to work Saturdays and Sundays straight and 2 days off in the week? Automatically you taking what you gave to me, you taking it back.
During the time of recording, National Workers Union representatives were meeting with Castries Mayor Peterson Francis to try to iron out some of the differences. But until then, CCC workers from all departments, including sanitation and cemetery, were staying put. You know what that means. No city cleanup and no funeral burials. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Meanwhile, Castries Mayor Peterson Francis claims he is uninformed about the matter and is placing the workers' woes in the hands of the National Workers Union. In turn, the union has vowed to hold talks to iron out the matter.
In the wake of protest action being taken by workers of the Castries City Council, Castries Mayor Peterson Francis says he is unaware of such actions. Whilst the workers have taken umbrage with a number of systems which were implemented over the weekend, the mayor maintains that he does not understand the hubbub since the new systems were overseen by some of the workers and the National Workers Union which represents them.
What was signed?
An agreement was signed with the union.
Was the shift system included in that?
Of course the shift system was included in that. That we could say it is enshrined in they had a sub-steward there, they had sub-stewards and so on and so on. But there's one thing I want to make absolutely clear, that workers have rights, but employers have rights. So I have absolutely no problem, but there's a grievance clause as to how things are supposed to be done if there is a problem. So we are not aware, neither has a union. So I don't know anybody is on strike.
But Mr. Francis, a couple of weeks ago, when the motion was brought to the table, the workers expressed that they were not happy about this new shift system. So with that said, why was it still brought forward?
You asking me that question? You're supposed to ask the union that question. The workers also had to see what's on the negotiating team. So it's not something that was done arbitrarily. So that was what negotiated. But I didn't hear anybody strike for the increase. I didn't hear any strike for the condition of work. But nobody strike for the increase. Nobody said they didn't want the increase when it was paid. They actually wanted to go to the union because they find it was not being paid promptly.
Meanwhile, the NWU's Secretary General Johan Harewood tried his best to appease the irate workers who were congregated at City Hall Yard.
As you know, we have had discussions with the council in terms of the negotiations for the last couple of months, and we've been able to finish the negotiations. But based on what we received this morning, we received reports that you all can hear me, right?
Yes,
right. We received reports this morning that there was some change or changes to your hours of work. And as a result, we are here to go and have a word with the council so that we can find out exactly what is going on. There are provisions in the collective agreement for consultation. If there are any changes that the council wants to make, we cannot tell them how to run their operations. But there must be discussions with the union if changes are going to be made, and the changes are going to have adverse effects on the employees. Like we are saying, we are here to represent the employees, and if changes are going to be made, it must be made in a joint consultative fashion. Okay? We have not had any opportunity to sit down with the council as yet to iron out any details of any changes. So we're going to ask you to just remain here up until we have some discussion with the council and we find out exactly what is going on this morning.
Contrary to the mayor's statement, Harewood said the union did not have any final discussion with the CCC about the changes made.
The details, the specifics of the shift system are not in the collective agreement. You must understand that there are current operating hours, current hours of work, and if you're going to implement a shift system, you're making changes to these hours. The employees have concerns about these hours as it relates to how they will impact them, and we have not at this point had a sit down with the council as yet to go through and see how best this shift system can work, and obviously for the effects not to be negative on the employees.
Harewood said the union will not attempt to dictate to the CCC how to run their affairs, but they will stand up for the workers which they represent. If the workers feel that the changes will affect them adversely, he said, the union is duty-bound to step in, approach the council, and attempt to make amends. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I'm Rochelle Gonzalez.
Family members of an 87-year-old man suffering with dementia is urging members of the public to help find their missing loved one. Ignatius Eugene was said to be last seen on Sunday, the 10th of February. The family fears that their relative, who was last seen without shoes, may be weakening by the minute.
The Eugene family of Bocage is seeking the help of the public in finding their missing relative, 87-year-old Ignatius Eugene. Relative of the missing man, Monica Williams, says that the sooner he is found, the better he will be, as Eugene, also known as Mr. Sun, suffers from Alzheimer's.
I'm appealing to anybody who may have come into contact with Mr. Ignatius Eugene, better known as Mr. Sun of Bocage, an elderly, dark, tall, 87-year-old man. He's barefooted. He went missing yesterday Sunday, 10th February, and we're hoping if anybody sees someone that answers to the name Mr. Sun or Mr. Ignatius Eugene, please inform the family. The fear we have is that he had not had breakfast, and so we fear that he may be somewhere under the bushes and he's weak, and he may need assistance, in seeing a doctor for his treatment and whatnot.
William assured that the police have been informed of the case of the missing man. However, since a full 24 hours has not elapsed since Eugene has been missing, no police search has begun. Meanwhile, William says that family and friends have already begun to play their part in searching for Eugene.
As family members, we've combed the entire area, the Jiwa Kaku area, as far as the Jeno town, everywhere we could, possibly think that he may have strayed. We have done searches in those areas. We combed the entire area where people said they may have seen him, and up to after 6 yesterday evening, we came up empty-handed. So we're hoping sometime today we come up with some good news, hoping that we find him and he's alive, and we can at least, take him to the doctor for further treatment, because we know that he's suffering with Alzheimer's and he may have wandered through the bushes.
Anyone with information regarding the whereabouts of Ignatius Eugene should contact 489-1192 or the nearest police station. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solaj Alfred.
The man at the helm of the St. Lucia National Trust, Bishnu Tulsi, will be moving on. However, he's rubbishing claims that he's being forced out of his position. He spoke with Hot 7 News' Solange Alfred.
After 15 years of hard work, Director of the St. Lucia National Trust, Bishnu Tulsi, will be retiring come October 2019. The director spoke to Hot 7 News regarding the motives behind his retirement. Tulsi spoke candidly to our cameras, expressing that he was making way for a more energetic individual who would be able to take on the position and continue fighting the good fight for the St. Lucia National Trust and its members.
I just feel that it's time for me to move on, to make way for new ideas, someone with more energy, someone with fresh ideas. I think that the organization will benefit from it. In fact, I had planned to retire 2 years ago, but the members asked me to stay on, and at the time when they asked me, I signaled that I would not stay on beyond 2019. I think that whoever comes on board must internalize the law that created the National Trust and to stay true to that. Because if you do not, then you will be undermining the very foundation of the organization.
Tulsi went on to dispel rumors that he was being forced out of his position.
There will always be disagreements between the trust and government based on directions. It's a matter of how you resolve them or try to resolve them. If anything, it's because of those things that I stayed on longer, and not that it's pushing me out.
He says that he is looking forward to a more strengthened trust, and while he remains director, he continues to put the necessary building blocks in place for the St. Lucia National Trust to build on.
I think that the trust has to become better known in the country and outside of the country, We have to do a lot more work in terms of our outreach, education, and advocacy. We do have a lot of support from the public, but that could always be improved. I think that we need to focus a lot on the youths. We need to engage the next generation of people who will enter the workforce and become the leaders. And I think we need to do a lot more in terms of our built heritage to protect those cultural monuments that we have in the island. I think those are three areas that we need to focus on, and I'm hoping that the new strategic plan will say that, and that the organization will move in that direction.
The St. Lucia National Trust is the longest-serving environmental and heritage membership conservation organization in St. Lucia. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Solaj Alfred.
This is the Hot 7 Nightly News. Stay with us. We'll be right back.